Hello and welcome to the WBB Mason Coaches Report. I'm Rachel Vogel here with head women's basketball coach Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Obviously, not great after an 0-2 start. So just get back on the grind today and go to work because we got a big weekend.
So what did you see from the crowd this past weekend against William & Mary, first on Friday night and then later against Elon?
Well, always after you have a little bit of time to reflect, we had Boogie on the bench for a good 7-8 minutes in the second quarter with fouls. Got into a little deficit area, and then obviously we played an outstanding third quarter. I felt like we had every opportunity to win. I think we took a little bit of the spirits out of William & Mary, and we just couldn't close the door. So that's the takeaway. That was trying to be my focus as we were going to go into Elon. The stats are the stats. We were 0-4 in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and that's being kind, and 2 kind of real costly turnovers. And then for the night, we were 4 for 13 for the free throw, but we still had every element. So the high points it was us fighting to get back, cutting that lead. I think the lead was as high as they were up by 15. I think then we turned around and got up as much by 4. Mm-hmm. And we've won 3 of our 4 games going into that game. Very tight margins, whether it's 6 points or less. So again, I know it has a conference flavor, and sometimes you put a little bit more of mental pressure on yourself. But to see us really have it in our hands and not seize the day was a tough pill to swallow.
So you mentioned that you were down by as many as 15 to William & Mary, and you came all the way back and even increased the lead to 4. What does that resiliency say about your team heading into the rest of the conference?
Yeah, and I didn't feel like it was like you played it incredibly well and just threw everything out and you ran out of steam in the end. A lot of times you'll do that if you have you're playing a team and you really had to exert so much energy to come back. We just settled down and played a better second half and and had our full force together. So what does it say? Obviously it says what we've all been saying, that we need to put consistent quarters together, and I think that's a disappointment. These are the places that we're cheating the game right now, and I'm the leader of the squad, and it punches me in the gut really bad because we had an opportunity here, on Friday night as well as Sunday to beat 2 home games, and not necessarily starting off with JMU, Drexel, Delaware like we usually do. And we didn't seize those opportunities, but we know we can fight back. We know we can play better. We have moments of really good play. It's just not consistent.
So now that you've played William & Mary and both Elon, and you'll face them again later on in the season, how do you feel like these 2 first competitions prepared you for the contest later on against those teams?
Once again, I feel like the teams that we played in our non-conference had us ready to beat both Elon and William & Mary. With Stetson, people that we've beaten, St. Bonnie's, the same level and same caliber of both the 2 games we just played. So, I just think we've got to kind of formulate, within and make a decision. I think our players are going to make a decision about how hard we want to play because, we don't want to coach effort. We know the battle's going to be tough. We knew this night after night, and it's just going to be conference. Most of the time there's, the games are going to be tight every single game from, you playing the last team in the league to the top team in the league. That's how these conference games are set up. Everybody knows more about you than you know even yourself sometimes.
Right. So Boogie was the leading scorer. She was tied for first against William & Mary with 17 points and had 15 against Elon. She averaged 16 for the week. She's now streaking at, she's had 10 double figures in every single game this season. What's it like to have that constant threat going into
it's nice. I know she would rather have the win. And I think, we talked about this in the beginning of the year. We need 4 or 5 players in double figures. We're not getting that consistently. We need Anna to step up and play a little bit better. She played a little better against Elon. Just confidence. I think we're trying to find a little bit more bench support. P's been giving us some really good minutes, but obviously it's good to have someone being consistent. We just need other people being consistent along with Books. And I think that's the moral of that story. And like I said, we are cheating the game. We're not leaving everything out there on the court, and I think that's what kind of grinds at you a little bit is, quit playing timid, quit playing fear. Don't be afraid to get onto each other and coach each other up when you're on the floor and talk to each other on the floor. And I think that's something that they've got to kind of come in within and figure it out. And then we as a staff, that all falls, like I said, on me because I'm the leader of the program, and we're not really happy where we are right now.
Right, so you mentioned the bench this past weekend. We saw some combinations on the court that we actually haven't really seen the rest of the
Right.
season. At one point, I don't remember, I think it was Elon, we had 4 bench players and 1 starter. What's it like to have the depth on for the team?
I mean, it needed to happen. It needed to happen probably Friday night too. I mean, we need to get these young players out here playing and get them this experience, and they can contribute. I mean, between Val and JK and Jalen, you got 3 people here that didn't play, last year, even though Jalen was here. You got those 3 that are grinding in, and Kai gave us some good minutes on Sunday. So, it's just finding those opportunities and them seizing those opportunities.
Right. So heading into this weekend, James Madison Friday night, and then Towson on Sunday. What's the scout for
Yeah,
Friday
they're
night?
coming off some big wins. I mean, JMU obviously won their first 2, and Towson beat Drexel at Drexel, and JMU obviously beat Drexel in their last contest. So, I mean, there's no doubt my team will be up and ready to play. I mean, it's JMU and it's Towson, right? I mean, they get up. We need to be up and be focused for every game, but they'll be extremely focused and trying to leave everything out on the court. And we know how it is to play in the Berg, and it is what it is. So, everything's just kind of laid out for us to decide, how competitive we want to be, how hard we want to play. And I think it, really comes down to our effort, and not, getting, in our own way. And I just think there's sometimes we're kind of still getting in our own way, it's tough pill to swallow. And, you have a little foreshadowing, I wasn't happy at the Wilmington game that we had here, which was leading into conference. We didn't do very well in the second half, and that stuff is, you are who you are a little bit. And so until we start, just, disregarding this piece and just kind of facing it, head on and go, let's get some consistency. Let's, bring somebody in our post plays and be consistent. We need to have, those 4 players, like I said, in double figures, but it starts with defense. Mm-hmm. I can talk about offense because that's on the stat sheet and everything like that, but if we can dig down and generate, some offense from our defense, I mean, that's what really gets us going. If you look at that stat, I mean, that gets us moving. So that's going to be obviously our focus today.
Right, sounds good, Coach. So the
Yeah,
Pride is
thank
back
you.
in action on Friday night at James Madison and on Sunday at Towson. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.